Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. Okay, looking at the fundamentals first this morning. So we've already seen the claimant count change out this morning, the employment figures for the UK. Now, the release was slightly late. Unemployment sitting at 7.6 versus 7.6. Change was minus 153,000 versus the minus 30,000 expected. Overall, the figures were certainly not as bad as expected, but of course there's this knock-on effect. The figures are still masked by the furlough program. One would assume that when that is finished, there'll be people falling out of that and no longer employed. So, as I say, it's masked it at the moment, and it doesn't look as bad as it could have been. Anyway, aside of that, then today in terms of numbers, we've got the US inflation data out at 1:30. I don't expect much movement in terms of this on two accounts. Firstly, they're going to be averaging inflation rates going forward before they do anything about increasing interest rates. And at this current stage, there's no chance of them increasing interest rates anyway. So on that basis, inflation's still running low. If it's running any lower, I could see it's actually causing a bit of a wobbly there. If it's running any higher, well, might see a little bit of a bounce, a little bit of excitement about the US dollar, but it will soon be forgiven, bearing in mind the long-term approach of averaging. Okay, on that basis then, there's nothing else after that. So looking at the markets today, technically, Euro struggling to push through this or even get back towards that 118.30 area, 33 sort of area. Yesterday it looked like it was going to in the afternoon, but failed to do so at the moment. It's now sitting on support. Weekly pivot sitting there. Monthly pivot's not far away. So it's sitting on an area of support. Slipped off a little bit here, looking not so bright this morning. If anything, there's the monthly pivot underneath there. It could be pushing back down towards that. Let's just put this on a 60-minute chart. There we go. So looking a bit softish at the moment. A break of these lows gives us a lower high, a confirmed lower high, and well, as I say, could see more of a rollover with this pattern that we're seeing. So looking a bit on the softer side. Anything, if we can manage to get a bounce post 8 o'clock, well, break through the 50 still pointing, 60-minute 50 still pointing up. There was some bullishness there. Yesterday afternoon looked quite decent, but never managed to get the legs to push back up to those prior highs. Still a slight gap up there, but well, we'll see for now anyway. There's the euro looking a bit on the soft side. The pound, on the other hand, well, made new highs yesterday, pushed on through. It's quite the surprising currency here at the moment. Part of this may be on the basis of the willingness to continue talking re-Brexit, but we'll see. But for now, you can see the high lows right the way through this, higher highs as it's pushed up through again yesterday. Currently, well, there's a weekly pivot below that might, if we do start seeing it roll down, I looked at one point yesterday and thought, well, maybe this could come into target, and it could still. But again, as with the euro, we've still got the 60-50 pointing up there. Lower high, well, yeah, maybe it's just pitching in there in the nearer term there, but looks more solid than the euro for now. Possibly a little bit less support where it is, but a retrace back to that 60-50 may still provide a decent bounce. It's quite a while since it's been there. We'll see how that develops, but for now, still the bigger picture erring to the upside there. Dollar yen strengthened again as there's cash inflows, China helping this sort of movement as well. Some disappointing data that's moved, so the dynamics changing a little bit more with the yen there being bought, so pushing that further down. And well, a bear flag where we're sitting at the moment. Bull flag for the yen, but bear flag for the US dollar as we're sitting here at the moment. So potential to continue to that downside as it looks. Okay, Aussie dollar Aussie dollar's been a bit softer of late. It's really struggling to push back up towards the previous highs overall. It's sliding off the rails a little bit here, and well, rolled over again through the Asian session there. Maybe it's got more downside sitting. It's already done weekly pivots, monthly pivots. It's softened up quite a bit. In fact, it looks quite a bit softer here. So it was the weaker currency yesterday through trading. Although you're looking at it technically against the US dollar here, you would have hardly thought it was massively weak, but it certainly was the weaker one, and may out underperform again today. It does just look really soft where it's sitting at the moment. Okay, Canadian dollar. We saw oil slip off later on, but it's not really had much effect on the Canadian dollar. It was a thin old afternoon, trading afternoon yesterday, to be fair to a lot of these markets. Canadian dollar here, well, it's just looking a tad on the softer side around these lows, and we've got a weekly pivot possibly yelling to the upside there, so maybe it's got a chance of a bit more of a retrace, quite extended away from the 34.50 sort of zone as well. Let's just come down a little bit. 60.50, it's been dancing around that sort of area, just looking at the moment like it might have another push up here, but overall trend solidly down, but just consolidating, and as I said, from the higher time frames, well, we certainly had a bit of divergence through these points here. Didn't really make too much, rolled over a bit more yesterday. Okay, bit iffy where it's sitting, and as I say, may have a bit more of a retrace available, but bigger picture really on that CAD is to the downside. Okay, S&Ps, everyone seems to be wanting to buy the S&Ps, doesn't it? Off they've gone again. Solid old few days last week and into Monday. Looks solid old day. Pulled quite a way away from the weekly pivot there as it did so. Quite a long way away. Just consolidation, retracement scope where we're sitting at the moment. Maybe it'll pull back a little bit further through the morning into the US session. We'll see. But at the moment, well, not really doing too much here. Dancing around, consolidating. I wouldn't bet against further upside on that. That's where we are there. Oil I mentioned earlier. Took quite a slip yesterday, and well, could be heading back down towards those lows there. It doesn't look particularly good where it's sitting at the moment. Bear flaggy sort of territory, and yeah, certainly sort of bear flaggy territory. Struggling, trying to pop up a little bit yesterday there. This morning, but does look a bit on the softer side. This morning, as we get into the markets properly, well, maybe if it can push back above $40, it will back above that 60-minute 50. Maybe it's got some scope for further upside back to the highs there. Overall, well, it's just taking a bit of a beating at the moment, and well, soft production, more production coming on stream from certain countries, and yeah, this is the way the market's reacting to the extra supply, really. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. I wish you a great day, and I'll speak to you in the morning. Bye for now.